Hi, this is Lourdes from HealingCrystals.com.
Hi, I'm Tara from HealingCrystals.com.
Today we'd like to talk to you about a serious issue, and that's cancer. Cancer is hard because once you hear that word, the connotations are death or your mortality. And it doesn't always have to be that way.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And I mean, it's a scary thing and it's a horrible thing to have to go through. But there are, nature does provide us with crystals that will help. Again, we always have a disclaimer that, crystals, they're meant to assist you. They don't replace medical therapy. No. They don't replace your doctors or your hospitals or any of that kind of stuff. Mm-mm. Never think that they do. What they do is they complement. They're something that can, they're kind of like your personal arsenal for getting through, because sometimes the medical stuff can be, the cure can be almost worse than the disease.
Yes.
In a lot of respects, especially when you're dealing with cancer. And, so we want to talk to you today about some of the crystals that can help you with those kinds of things.
Well, when I've had family members have cancer, I recommend a couple of crystals. The first one is amethyst. Mm-hmm. I just think amethyst works on a spiritual level. We have a couple of different energy bodies. We have the physical, we have the emotional, we have the mental and spiritual. By the time you get cancer, your energy bodies have already been affected and mm-hmm. you already have holes in the aura and you're already covered with stuff. Amethyst will help clean all that stuff up first. Mm-hmm. I like amber for cleaning the physical body.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that it's going to go and remove the cancer. No. It doesn't. But it helps remove any energy blockages that may be contributing to the illness.
And amber is a very joyful crystal as well. Mm-hmm. And spirit and attitude will take you so far in life. And I think and amber can really help you during these really dark times that you're going through and your family's going through or the family member, whoever mm-hmm. it is that's suffering. The amber can really help everyone keep their spirits up. And, if I'm a big believer in if you mm-hmm. set your mind someplace, the body will follow.
It's true.
So I think amber is very good for that as well, for keeping a very positive attitude.
It does. And that is one of the strongest things you have is your attitude. Mm-hmm. I also like carnelian. Yeah. Carnelian boosts the immune system, mm-hmm. the energy of the immune system. So if you only had 3 crystals that you could work with for cancer, mm-hmm. those are the first 3 I would take right off the bat. I wouldn't even consider anything else before that.
Absolutely.
What I like to use for people who are going through therapy after you've had the cancer, the operation, and now you need to recover, I like using red jasper, mm-hmm. tourmalated quartz, mm-hmm. carnelian, and even charoite. These are what this is the necklace I give my family members when they have cancer and are trying to recover. It pulls in the energy from the earth.
Exactly, yes.
And you need that to recover. You need the doctor's care, you need mm-hmm. family support, but if you're using crystals to act as an auxiliary support system, this would be wonderful.
I also like Smokey Quartz for that.
Yes.
I think Smokey Quartz is wonderful for drawing energy up from the earth. And there is so much positive energy. I mean, if you just look at the planet, look at the seasons, it's constantly regenerating itself. And there's all that energy is in there, and it's just waiting for us to be able to tap it and use it, for, mm-hmm. To help us in our lives. And I think that's a big part of why that energy is there. And that's what these grounding crystals really help you bring that energy up.
Now, the crystals we're mentioning are just generally. Mm-hmm. For each cancer, there always is another crystal that may work better or may work in conjunction with the ones we mentioned. But we actually do have some on the Healing Crystals website. If you go look at our articles and put in crystals for cancer, you will find we have several articles that list different types of cancer and what crystals work best for that type of energy.
You can even do like your specific, if it's breast cancer, if it's lymphoma or something like that, you can type that in too, and you may get an automatic result. From mm-hmm. other people that have it between articles, questions that people have written in and asked. And then we also have our ailments directory.
Yes.
That will give you like a nice list based upon, you know, what. And when you're looking at that, don't just look at the specific disease. Think about what is affecting you. Are you depressed? Of course you're depressed.
Are you stressed?
Of course you're stressed. Who wouldn't be? You know, think about all the things that you're suffering from, not just the disease itself, because that's really only in the whole big picture. That's one thing. Mm-hmm. And even if that gets better, that, you know, you've got your doctors and the cures and all that kind of stuff that are going to help you with that, not the cures, but the therapies that are going to help you with that. You also want to look at the other things that, you know.
The other contributing factors.
Exactly.
The emotional contributing factors.
Exactly.
So please check it out. And if you don't find what you're looking for, send us an email.
Absolutely. Yep. We're always here to help. And, you know, that's what we want to do, is be able to find what is going to help you get through this time in your life. And you will get through it.
Mm-hmm. For healingcrystals.com, I'm Lourdes.
And I'm Tara. Thank you and crystal blessings.
Bye-bye.